Welcome back, everybody, to another Real Chums Initial Thoughts and Impressions.
Yes.
We're here with the first two episodes of The Acolyte. So this is, if you're a long-time listener or new, I talked about this in our most anticipated movies and shows segment earlier this year.
Yes.
This is my most anticipated show of the last 2 years.
Okay, well, yes, of the last years. And you're most excited for something very specific.
Carrie-Anne Moss in Star Wars. Okay. And it turns out she is in Star Wars.
For 20 minutes. No, 5 minutes.
7 minutes of that? Yeah.
I'm not going to lie.
I was getting the hints, though, because, like, all of the trailers and, like, all the promos had her in the same bar, same background. And we
didn't see anything else.
And I was like, I think she's just in one episode. And there is supposed to be, like, a death at the beginning. And I'm like, I think it's her. So I figured that she was it, but I was hoping, I'm like, please prove me wrong. For once, prove me wrong. But yeah.
And they did it. They let you down.
They let me down with I hope we get, like, flashbacks.
That's what I hope, too.
And we see more
We probably
of her?
will. We probably will.
So.
It's only going to be, like, the end, like, towards the end of the, finalization. But that was a bummer.
That was a huge bummer because I really wanted Trinity in Star Wars.
I'm going to screenshot the text message that you sent to me and put it on screen because it was. I will say though, opening this series with the Carrie-Anne Moss fight scene.
Yeah.
Yes.
Great. Before we move forward, full spoilers ahead on these first two episodes.
Yes.
And these are this isn't really a review. It's just our initial thoughts and impressions. Yep. It's not fair to do a review on something we haven't seen all of it for.
Correct.
But yes, going back to that, 100%. I think it sets the tone for what this show will be. It's a different. It's going to be like a crime thriller.
Yeah.
Ish. The way that the Jedi fight here in the High Republic 100 years prior to what we know is very right. She's not quickly pulling out her lightsaber.
I love the line. If you pull your lightsaber, you're
it means you're ready to kill or something like that, right?
Yeah. That, like, essentially, if you're taking out your lightsaber, you are taking it out to kill somebody.
Yeah.
It's so different to
what we know, to the distorted Jedi Council and Jedi Order of the prequels, right? Who's become, it's become distorted and manipulated by the politics.
I mean, I think there's also the fact that, like, they're fighting droids. They had to fight, so there's that portion of it. But also at the same time, like, maybe it's a different. This is an era of battle, and maybe they had a huge, with a big war. They, as a council, decided, hey, like, let's not be these types of individuals. Maybe this event that they're dealing with is a big factor into, like, how they decide to go about changing some of their stuff. I don't know. All I'm saying is I freaking am here for it. I love the kung fu-ness. I love the fact that the Force is being used way more.
Yeah.
In the fight.
This shows, again, this takes place during the High Republic era. So you're seeing a Jedi Order who maybe is more relying on the Force, right?
Interesting.
And later we hear in the prequels, right, Yoda, who says, like, maybe we should, or someone says, like, maybe we should tell the Senate that we're losing, or Mace Windu says it, we're losing our connection to the Force.
Oh, yes,
right?
yes.
And so, like, that's in 100 years.
Yeah.
But right now, like, they're well connected to the Force.
I mean, they're like the policing unit. Like, they're like, there's an unregistered Force user here.
Oh, yeah.
You know? And so, and the fact that they're the ones going in and apprehending Osha
and May.
And May.
Yeah.
Okay, what other moments do you think in the first two episodes? What are we here for?
I continue to be here for, like you said, the martial arts aspect. The fight between May and Master Sol,
yes,
was again also just incredible. Which also shout out to what's his name, the actor, Lee Jung Ye. He was in that one Squid Games.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And he learned English for this role.
Oh, well, he's great.
No, he's great. I was gonna be a bit like, I was apprehensive at first when I was like, oh, he's learning English. Hopefully we can like understand it. No, he's
Killer.
doing great.
Phenomenal.
And he's like the Qui-Gon Jinn of this era.
Yes. That's
right?
a perfect.
He's wise. I have a couple theories, but he's very wise. He communicates with his Padawans and all the other Jedi who are very dogmatic in their approach.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Whereas he's very much like Qui-Gon, who he's leaning in the Force, but he's okay with attachment and he's okay with emotion.
Yeah.
It could be a theory that maybe he's just doing that to hide his sins from being in that planet with May and Osha, right?
Maybe.
But I really love Master Sol. I'm excited to see more of this character and see what his entanglement is with what happened in Osha's planet and why he's now being hunted by May.
No, I think Master Sol probably, for me, him and Osha and May.
Yeah.
The twins. I think they're standout actors and characters in the series. I think that they bring both of them bring such a unique perspective. The costume design for May, so good. I mean, we got it a little bit in the trailer, but like seeing it in full, like the episodes, I'm digging it so much.
The costume design for everyone.
Everyone.
I'm here for this. Again, this High Republic era of Jedi robes. And
there's the color. I mean, I haven't done a ton of research on the High Republic, but I know that like the different Jedi Knights versus Padawans versus all the different things that go into it, which is so good.
Yeah, no, I'm here for it. Going back to Amanda Stenberg, who plays May and Osha, I love what she's doing with Osha. I'm struggling to connect with the character of May a little bit. Granted, we don't know her whole backstory, neither of them, but like I think she does really great as Osha. When I see her as May, I'm just like, but you're so nice and you're so fun and kind. Like I like you as Osha. Right?
Okay. I see.
I'm hoping that because what we've seen of May and the dude, I forget the actor's last name Jacinto.
Yeah.
He was in The Good Place, but he's playing the guy that did the poison.
Yeah.
They seem like redeemable characters. They're fun. They're nice. I hope they don't get redeemed.
I hope so. I agree. I hope that it just really drives the wedge of like the Sith really playing the role. I have to say the ending of the first episode, with this like monologue of the Sith character and the red lightsaber turning on and being perspective. There's so many aspects of it like that. I love that. I mean, Acolyte is someone who's a religious like devotee who's doing specific acts for some a religion. So having this be something and it being very specific where May is going and addressing these Jedis right from the beginning. My hope is that like something like this is a catalyst that brings up something bigger towards the end of this story arcs. That gets us like that gives us a really great cliffhanger. I just want something that builds that we like end on a really amazing like what.
The idea is that this is not a limited series, so they're hoping to make more seasons.
Yeah,
which I hope so.
Me too.
But yeah, going back to that aspect of it all, I mean, this is what I've been saying for years. Like, I really want Star Wars to like lean into like the whole dark side and like their philosophy versus the Jedi's.
Yes,
and how the Jedi's is fallible, right? And there needs to be a shift, and hopefully we see that more in the new Daisy Ridley movie. But like, we're planting the seeds here, and I think this is great to see like what's going to happen. I don't think this Sith Lord or Sith guy he might be the master who was the master for Palpatine, maybe.
Oh,
right. I would love to like see eventually when this ends, like maybe leading into, don't show me Palpatine, but like maybe show me like who, I know we have a name, Darth Plagueis, I think it's trained Palpatine, but I would love to see that happen eventually.
Who's the guy who comes in to like take May in, who was like
Yod.
Jedi
Knight Yod.
Yod. Eye candy for the ladies, apparently. I was like, okay, Star Wars. I thought he was okay. I think he was a little stiff for me.
Okay. Yeah.
At least in, like both in this episode and the later episode, he definitely feels very very rigid in his approach, where we get, especially when he's compared next to, Master Sol, who I love it. I love his character. I think because he's got a little bit of the accent from learning English, it just adds another layer. It feels almost like from the Karate Kid. Okay. This these wise lessons that are being taught just in small little conversations that you're like, okay. I also love the Padawan for Master Sol right now. I can't remember her name.
Played by Weapon X, Daphne Keane.
Yes, I like Daphne Keane a lot.
Yeah,
every time I see her in a film, she's always like stand out to me. And I think she yet again kills it in this role.
Yeah,
I'm excited to see her growth. As this story plays out.
Yeah.
I hope it's something similar to what we get with Ahsoka. Maybe not exactly, but like something that, because I see her spirit very lively in the same way that I saw Ahsoka's. Yeah. And although Ahsoka was more on the side of like being non-traditional, she feels a little bit more traditional, but is like open to seeing how Master Sol moves forward and goes in his methods and whatnot.
Yeah. Let's talk about the fighting a little bit.
Yes.
This feels better than Ahsoka.
Oh, 100%.
Well, one, they're not filming in the volume.
Yeah, they're not filming the volume.
And you feel it because there's so much more space.
Yeah,
you don't have the camera right up here, right? Where they're limited in the volume. So like it gives them the ability to like have more room in their choreography and it feels more, it just feels roomier. Like that's just what it is.
I think so. For me, I think one of the big things is like we're not using lightsabers. So there's this, like when lightsabers are involved, the prequels had some of the best lightsaber fights in recent memory. I think there's a couple other spots that I think are really great, but for the most part, we don't get a lot of lightsaber, like actual full swinging and like whatever. It's often, a little bit here and then they, dispatch and then they move forward. I love the fact that they've taken this approach to like, they're like, let's make this restrictive. And I don't know if that was like part of just like how they've decided to make the philosophy for the High Republic. But at the end of the day, I truly love that they're bringing in actual martial arts or like fighting styles, maybe other different fighting styles in this sense, as well as the Force, which just provides a more dynamic on-screen choreography and presence that feels more energetic, feels more exciting, more exhilarating, especially with the juxtaposition between the Jedi versus Maze and what we might see in the future episodes.
Yeah,
which honestly is the biggest thing that has me excited for this series.
No, and I think again because of the era that we're in, it's such a different fighting style, right? And that's okay. Each era, like here, it's very martial arts. Yeah. You have very stylistic in the prequels, and in the originals, it's very more not rigid, but just more technical term for the type of fighting that they use. But very different, right? Yeah. And we see that again in the sequel trilogy.
Yeah.
So like I'm here for this different eras of fighting techniques and styles, and I'm excited to see what more they do with this.
I'm also really excited for the fact that like the Jedi are more involved in around the world, and that there's more of them. So like their presence is less of a like, oh, Jedi. It's like, oh, hello, Jedi.
Yeah, they just happen to be there.
They just happen to be there. They're involved in like the world. I love that Coruscant's still very active and very like core center.
Yeah, I mean, you know me, I love politics. I
I
love my
know,
Star Wars
I know.
politics. I hope we see more. I love the comment from Master Vernestra when she's talking to Sol about, if our antagonists find out that one of our people killed one of our masters,
Yes.
like, we need to keep this. So we're seeing already this like shady behavior from the Jedi. Obviously, there is political antagonists that feel a certain way towards the Jedi, that they feel like they have to hide it from them, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I hope we get to see a little bit more of that.
Okay, that was my question. I felt like that was the weakest part of the two episodes.
That we didn't see.
We did not get enough. So, and I granted, if they add that perspective, that can add maybe too much to the episodes, and so maybe that's why they didn't do it. But I felt like even just like having a small introduction to who the driving force of this pressure is, of wanting to hide this, would have been really helpful.
Yeah.
In providing a dual antagonist situation where, no, maybe not antagonist, but like a dual pressure and tension for the Jedis, right? I think that in the second episode, even if they added, it was just like a one scene of like, gives us exposition of like why this is important and who they're having to deal with this, so that when Master Sol and the other are going out to try to find May, it is the tension to want to, wrap it up.
Yeah,
it's felt stronger and the other thing is like, don't get me wrong, episode 2 I also really enjoyed, but I was like, oh wow, they're already like they're already like engaging with her. Mm-hmm. There's not like I don't know, not that we need to drive, but like there's not like two other situations where they're like
an anticipation leading up to it.
Yes.
Yeah, I think this is my issue, and not just for this show, but I think for all the state of TV that we're in. You create a 6-8 hour movie and you break it up into episodes. And that's the issue that I have here. Now, I'm all for like releasing it all at once.
Yeah.
Or maybe we go back to an era of TV where each episode has its own storyline with an overarching story. I don't know. That's another discussion for another time. We'll get to that. But like, that's what I see here. That you plant these seeds. There isn't... by the end of episode 2, you've already engaged with May, with May. Ocean and May know that the other is alive.
Yes.
What is leading me to want to view episode
3? Dude,
right? And that's because of the structure that they do this. And Disney is very just notorious for this. Just giving your directors the budget and saying, make an 8-hour movie and just break it up into pieces. That's what what I'm struggling with.
And we're gonna have one episode each.
And now we're going to one episode per week.
See, this is and I agree. We have the same gripe every single time we watch something with Disney. Because like I watched Reacher episode every week.
Yeah.
But every single episode had some sort of like story arc that left me wanting to be excited for the next. That what's going to happen next? Mm-hmm. What are they going to try? What are they going to try to do in the next episode? This one, I'm like, well,
I'm excited for the show, and that's why I'll continue.
Yes.
And because I'm just a Star Wars fan at heart, whatever. Like I'll do that. But for the casual viewer, they'll be like, oh, that was cool, but like,
what?
How do I continue going?
I could easily, for myself, I don't know. I'll probably end up watching the next episode. If I'm like, this is about the same as the other 2 episodes, I'm gonna wait.
You're gonna wait.
I'm gonna wait till they all come out, and then I'm just gonna binge it for the last episode to have the full picture fresh when I'm watching that finale, hoping that it's gonna have something that will leave me, like I said, where like, oh, what, and go from there. Which I don't think is gonna happen, tragically, but I want it to be.
See, X-Men 97 did that really well. You had a story, a contained story within each episode.
Yep.
That tied to the overarching
yes.
story for the season. And I mean, even with that one though, I waited till the last.
Yeah.
I watched the first 2 episodes, then I waited and I binged it. But that one did really good at that. I just release them all at once. I'm just tired of this.
Especially if they're gonna be this mellow,
and then in this format, like, just
it's a struggle. So I don't know. Any other like, I don't know what things that you don't think worked.
I think I think some of the writing is. I don't want to say that it feels dry. That could just be the direction that Leslie Headland gave the actors to say, be stoic, this is the High Republic era. Like, I don't know if that's what it is, and I need to double check. But did she write all the episodes? I don't think she did. Right? She directed and wrote the first episode, and someone else directed the second one, and I can't remember if she wrote all of them. But that's something I'm going to keep an eye out on. Is this writing? See if that improves a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, our biggest gripe with Ahsoka was that, like, everything felt super slow when it came to dialogue and to how move things along. And honestly, like, this is the perfect like series to do better at. Out of all the Star Wars, I think the Bad Batch and the Clone Wars had some of the best, like, dialogue, like, sort of like that push things forward. Like, we had a lot of sets, not lots. We had a lot of different scenes or whatever in this series, and yet there wasn't a lot of discussion. There wasn't a lot of, like, talking. There wasn't. It was, ask questions were asked, like you said. They're like then like, Master Sol. He was contemplative. Right, which I understand on his aspect, but having more dialogue with him to Osha, as well as to maybe the Padawan with Osha, or that wasn't just about your tattoo or
sure,
some of these other things that happened, especially, I don't know. I definitely think that, like, to me, I would agree with you that, like, going into the next little bit, will we have something more?
Yeah,
I don't know. I want something more. I feel like there should be it warrants there, and I don't know if they're trying to play it safe for a general audience.
I think that's what it is, right? Like, which I think this is why you're going to end up having May be redeemed at the end, because, like, as much as we want it to be this dark. We're adults. Disney has to cater to all audiences, right?
Yeah.
And that's just not everything can be Tony Gilroy doing Andor, right? Like, Andor is perfection in itself, and they've let him do his own thing, and that's great. But that's when you're on a tour like Tony Gilroy, you get that permission. And Leslie Headland is great. She's not there yet. And she will, I'm sure, but I think they're giving her some parameters to stick within.
I don't know. I'm excited for the overall series. Like I said, I'll watch the next episode. I will see. I'll make my judgment after that next episode whether I'm going to
continue watching it
week by week,
or wait.
My guess is I'll probably wait till the end to binge everything again and watch the finale.
Yeah,
and then give my thoughts.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm excited. Let us know your thoughts. Are you going to wait to binge this? What has you excited for The Acolyte? Comment below. Let us know. And
we'll see you in the next one.
Yeah.
Later.
Guys.